All right, let's do this. Hey humans, what's up? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm Brianne Williamson, and today I am answering some questions that I have been avoiding big time. I personally can't stand when YouTubers do this tag and they don't actually answer any questions that they've been avoiding. So I promise you, I'm gonna get into it, okay? I asked you over on my Instagram what questions you want answered, and there are some doozies, but we're gonna do it. But before I get into that, I am so excited that this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. You know that I love HelloFresh around here. If you are new, you will find that out very quickly. I am obsessed with HelloFresh. HelloFresh is first and foremost delicious. I feel like a master chef while creating these dishes. And my girlfriend absolutely loves it. There hasn't been a meal that we have come across that we did not like. And we've been using HelloFresh's service for years. On top of that, it saves a lot of time because not only are the meals delivered right to your door so you don't have to worry about grocery shopping, but they only take about 30 minutes to make. And you humans know that I'm a busy gal, so I really appreciate that because it keeps me eating healthy opposed to just ordering takeout all of the time. And I also really like that chill time of just focusing in on cooking. I've found it to be really, really enjoyable. I've found it to actually be very therapeutic. And Julia jokes that it's like my me time in the kitchen. HelloFresh is super flexible. You can choose the types of meals you like. Lately, Julia and I have switched to vegetarian options because we're trying to eat more plant-based. They have so many options, and you can choose the day of delivery. You can stop meals for a week. You can add meals. You can subtract the amount of meals. It's so flexible. You're not like locked into one thing. I've talked about this before, but I also really love how much food Julia and I are not wasting because of using HelloFresh. There's just two of us. So when we grocery shop, especially if we need really particular ingredients, unfortunately, a lot of times that ends up going to waste because some recipes only call for a small amount and you need to buy a big amount, okay? But with HelloFresh, they just give you exactly what you need to make the meal, so there's no waste. HelloFresh is just genuinely awesome. Like, they're just so great to work with. They support me in my queer content, which I really appreciate. But on top of that, they give back so many meals. But most importantly, HelloFresh donated 4 million meals in 2020, and they continue to give back and step up their donations. These recipe cards make cooking so easy. It's so easy to follow, but you do feel like an absolute chef genius by the end of it. And I also love that I'm trying recipes that otherwise I would have never tried before. This week, we got recipes like the farro and halloumi salad, Cantonese noodles, and the Mediterranean falafel burger. I recommend HelloFresh to all of my friends and family, and I really, really stand by their service, and I hope that you are going to get on board too. I promise you will love it. You can go to HelloFresh.com and use my code BrianneWilliamson12 to get 12 free meals plus free shipping. Yes, you heard that right. 12 free meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com and use my code BrianneWilliamson12 and you will get those free meals delivered to you with free shipping. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Let's get into it. I don't know why I did finger guns there, but we're going with it.
She's the one I'm thinking of. Hey, the only one I'm thinking of. Hey, she's everything I'm dreaming of.
All right, I'm pulling this question right to the front of the video because it is very close to home right now. And that question is, are you vaccinated? And yes, I just got vaccinated yesterday. And if I'm being honest, I am not feeling the best today. So if my energy's a little off, that's why. They say that the vaccine affects everyone differently. Julia, when she got hers about a week ago, she just had a really sore arm. Ow. Okay, they are not kidding when they say you get a sore arm. I can like not touch my arm at all. Like, it's not even like you have to push hard. It's just like even like a slight breeze. It's painful. But yeah, Julia just had a sore arm. She didn't feel sick at all. Me, on the other hand, I've had a headache for the last, 10 hours, I'd say. And I'm feeling a little bit like, how would I describe it? Clammy. Like, I don't have a fever, but I just kind of feel kind of like off, if that makes any sense. But with all that said, it is 100% worth it. And if you can go get vaccinated, go get vaccinated. Honestly, the experience of getting vaccinated, and yes, I say experience, was incredible. And that sounds so ridiculous, but I think because it was like a year and a half of this pandemic, having the privilege to get a vaccine and seeing everyone there being so mutually excited and hopeful, it was just such a relief. Like, I literally teared up after getting the vaccine, not because I was like afraid or upset or that it hurt or anything. The actual vaccine didn't hurt at all. I actually hardly felt it. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is like, we're getting somewhere. Like, I feel like I've done my small, tiny part and I feel hopeful, and all these other people are here, like, just big smiles and excited that we're moving towards being a vaccinated community. It was exciting, folks, okay? It was really exciting. I am going to be really honest with all of you. My camera just died, and then I don't know if it's because I'm like exuding a lot of energy trying to do this video, but I am feeling like sweatier and sweatier and more and more sick. And I'm really not saying this to like make anyone afraid of getting the vaccine, because I in no way am I afraid right now. I'm just feeling a little off. So if I seem off, that's why. But we're going to get through this, okay? We're going to get through this together because we've got some good questions to get to. Okay. Let's get to the next one. The rest of the questions have an overlying umbrella of, it seems like, friendship, and let's just get into it. It's going to be a lot. I knew this was going to be a lot. Why did I do this to myself? Okay, so the first question is, if you watched my Out Online series, a question about that is, are you doing Out Online still? And I have been avoiding that question. The reason I've been avoiding it is because I honestly don't know. I loved making that series, and I feel like a lot of you loved watching it. There's 3.5, however you'd count it, seasons out right now. If you haven't seen it and you don't know what I'm talking about, it's an LGBTQ plus reality dating show that was done entirely on Zoom with a lot of my viewers that were dating applicants and mystery singles, and it was so much fun to do, but it just was so much work. It was so much work, and honestly, again, if you're new here, you might not know that this is not my full-time gig. I think a lot of people think because I post on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and I have a podcast that goes up once a week, that that's what I do, because for a lot of folks that is what they do, which is amazing. But for me, I have another company. I also have another completely separate full-time job. So this is very much a passion project. All of my creative stuff is because I love doing it and I want to add to representation online. So it's just, sometimes it's hard to find the time and be consistent. So the reason I haven't been answering is not because I don't want to do it anymore. It's just on pause because honestly, I've just gotten really, really busy and I don't want to half-ass it. So I think in my heart that Out Online will be back. I just don't know when. It might be next month and it might be in a few months. But if you haven't already watched it, go binge the first few seasons. I think you'll love it. And I appreciate everyone who is sticking around with me through the ups and downs of content, because I know I'm not super consistent here. Sometimes it's like you're getting 3 videos a week, and sometimes it's like you're getting 1 a month. It just is what it is. So let's get to the like real question that people wanted in terms of Out Online. And that question is anyone you set up still together? No, there's actually another question that people really want to know, but we'll answer this one first. No. So I guess I'm a terrible matchmaker. Honestly, I had high hopes for a couple of the matches, but spoiler alert. So yeah, no one's still together. In that aspect, it was a fail, but I know that some of them are friends and they still chat, which is cool. And any sort of connection with other queer folks is amazing. But that is a part of the reason I need to come back, because I will not stop until I find a true love connection. And it's also, like a lot of it had to do, I think, with the fact that like a lot of the matches are long distance. It's the whole thing. But now the real question people wanted answered. Did you ever hear from, should I just say they're at Regs? Sure, everyone knows who I'm talking about. I'm not here to drag them, but this is another spoiler. If you watched the end of one of the seasons, you know that I got completely ghosted, and a lot of you have been like DMing me since then, since I posted a video about being ghosted and explicitly saying what happened in detail. A lot of you have been messaging me like, okay, so they must have seen that video, they must have like checked in to see how it ended, they still follow you on social media, so they saw you promoting that video and saw you talking about it. So they must have then followed up and had like some reasoning or an excuse or anything. No. It's been like months now and I still have not heard anything. So at this point, honestly, it's kind of iconic. Like, I mean, I guess if you're going to ghost someone, you got to really stick to it, and they are sticking to it. So I would love to one day maybe get to the bottom of what the fuck went down there, but I don't think today is going to be the day. I don't think tomorrow is going to be the day. Honestly, I'd be surprised if I ever heard from them again. The next question has to do with the pandemic and friendships and relationships. I think the curiosity here comes from both me being very vocal about disagreeing with some people's choices during the pandemic over on my Instagram, specifically in my Instagram stories. I kind of go off sometimes, but all of you follow me are like, all the time. And also the fact that I think a lot of people have had shifts in their social circles over this pandemic. So I think it's a relatable topic. Whether that's romantic shifts or friendships changing, I definitely have. The question specifically that I saved, but there was a ton of these worded differently, was, did you lose any friends during the pandemic due to them traveling? I want to be clear that this is going to actually sound harsh, but it's not that I lost friends because of traveling. I readjusted my mindset towards certain people because of what I believe traveling during a worldwide pandemic says about them as a person. So I know that sounds really harsh, but to me, it's less about the trip and more about if you genuinely in your gut think that's okay, aka if you're the type of person that just because something's not affecting you directly, you can't still care about the devastating loss that other people are enduring. Yikes. Honestly, like, to me, it just like lacks empathy. It's selfish. It's self-centered. It's tone deaf. Like, there's so many words to describe it. And honestly, like, that is just not the type of person I trust to care about me if they can't care about people during a worldwide pandemic. Bottom line. So the answer is yes, I have lost friends due to their choices during the pandemic. I think every instance is different. I think that you can't just have one umbrella statement that, like, yes, everyone who went anywhere or went against the rules in any way, I am not friends with anymore. There's so many layers to everyone's choices. So I encourage you to make those decisions for yourself, as well as in the same way that I am going to take it person by person. But I'd be lying if I say that I didn't absolutely adjust my opinion on a lot of folks during this time. I think it was a very clarifying time for me when it comes to my relationships. A lot of my relationships became much stronger than they were before the pandemic. And a lot of my relationships, it went the opposite way or are no longer existent. And I think, honestly, that's a gift. That's a gift for all of us because of everything that happened in the last couple years. I can't believe we're almost at a couple years. Something that we were allowed was the time to kind of step back and identify what was working in our life and what was not working in our life. And I know I definitely took advantage of that clarity and that time to really think, not just with people, but with certain aspects of work and with certain hobbies or habits, what is working for me in my life and what is not working for me in my life. And, what can I trim away to better focus in on what is bringing me joy and adding value or learning or growth. And sometimes that's trimming away people. Sounds so awful, but it's true. It's true. And hey, I'm sitting here fully aware that a lot of people have probably trimmed me away. So, it goes both ways. It's not like I'm just the person sitting here making that choice surrounding me. People are making choices that have to do with me and their lives or to what capacity I'm in their lives. So I get it. Everyone's doing it. And I think it's a great thing. So there's one more specific question that, oh my God, I got so many of these. Like, I'm not joking you. I think I got like 600 questions asked, and maybe half of them were something to do with this. And I don't want to name anyone in particular because I really don't want this to be like some dragging video. I mean, I named the Regs situation because that is online and unfolded online. So that's like already like public knowledge. But a lot of people just like really want to know and have been asking me honestly for years on every platform whenever they can about like certain friendships that were portrayed online and where they stand now. I don't want to not answer this because I said I'm not going to do that and just like avoid the video is called questions I've been avoiding, and then I continue to avoid questions. That would be kind of ridiculous. But I also like want to respect people's privacy. So I will just say that if you haven't seen me interacting with certain people for a long ass time, it's probably because I don't interact with those people anymore. It's not to say that there's any like hate or that there's any like big reason or like blow up or falling out or like, you know what I mean? It's just like people's lives shift. And I think what happens on YouTube a lot of the time is people are sharing their lives with relationships, friendships, whatever it may be, in a fun online presence way. And in the same way that you all as viewers have probably had friends come in and out of your life, that also happens. But unfortunately, when you have like those friendships recorded and people invested in them, then people want answers of like why that stops happening. And there's not like a specific answer. Honestly, if there's like some big drama, I'd probably tell you. But there's not. It's just that like people grow in different ways. Sometimes people that at one time, where am I going with this? Like, what analogy was I going to try and do? I was going to be like, where water and water are now oil and water. But it's like, honestly, not even that deep. It's just, life happens. People grow up, people shift. And yeah, if you haven't seen people, like, not to speak to me, but if you haven't seen certain people post about each other that used to post each other a lot online, whether it was a relationship, like romantically, or a friendship, and then you don't for like ever, there's probably a reason to that. You know what I mean? For example, with Julia and I in our relationship, yes, we are still together. I got those too, which is always funny to me. That I would tell everyone if we weren't together, honestly, but that won't happen. We are very happy. And honestly, that's one of the relationships that got just like so much closer during the pandemic. Obviously, we were already really close, but it's been really cool to see like how strong our relationship was through it all. And I just like so appreciate her and her presence and everything. I could gush about her for ages. But if I was making a video with Julia every day, like me and Julia did like a sit down video every week, and then all of a sudden we just like didn't do that with no communication about that for like a year, and you never saw Julia, you'd probably be like, okay, maybe something went down, maybe they broke up. But because I don't post with Julia, you all know she's not a big social media person. When I don't post about her for long periods of time, it's like whatever, because like I rarely post a picture with her or a video with her as is. But if you're seeing people online that always consistently post together and then they don't, like there's usually a reason, right? And I know you all want the reason, but it's sometimes just as simple as people grow apart. That was so long-winded. And like, did I give you anything? I don't know. Roast me in the comments if you're like, we needed more tea. Come on. But yeah, I think I answered like the big ones that were repeated a lot. If there's any questions that you feel like I've been avoiding that I haven't answered, let me know in the comments down below, and I will consider making a part 2 or whatever you want. Also, let me know if you have any ideas for video topics that you might like me to dive into. And again, thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Please make sure you're subscribed, like, comment. Maybe you haven't heard my podcast yet. I Can Explain Podcasts. There's over 100 episodes of queer topics. Maybe you haven't followed me on TikTok. I just hit 200,000 followers on TikTok. Maybe you're not following me on Instagram. Maybe you just don't want to be following me on Instagram. But I would love if you did. Okay, I think that's all the plugs. Thank you, humans, so much for watching. I love you all so much. And seriously, there's no hate here for anyone. There's no like big drama. You know, life goes on. It just is what it is. Thanks for watching. Bye.